Oh, welcome back. In this exercise, what we're going to take a look at is taking that Flash sprite sheet that we created and putting it in motion. And the first step in the process, of course, is to create your animate composition. And what I've got here is an image of a tree, and then in front of the tree is another little piece of the tree. If I hide the tree, you can see there it is there. So the plan is to have our guy walk behind the tree. Now this is a very large image, and you notice that the stage size is 2109 by 900. And the reason I've chosen that is just to have a big area to work on. The techniques are exactly the same, but I thought I'd try and get everything working in one area. So here we go. Now the first step in the process is to create a box to hold the walk sequence. So I'm just going to select the rectangle tool, create a box that is exactly 170 pixels wide, which is the width of the guy in the animation, and 250 pixels high, which is the height of the animation. It doesn't really matter where you put it, because what you're going to do is you're going to right click on the box and you're going to convert it to a symbol. And I'm going to call this symbol walk. Click OK. And there we go. Now what we can do is double click the symbol, and that edits it in place. You can see there's the breadcrumb, there's the stage, and there's the symbol. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the box out of the symbol, just like that, and then bring in the walk sequence. So we just put the walk sequence right there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. And I want to make sure that it's at 0, 0. And it's not. So I'm just going to put it right there. There we go. It's at 0, 0. And I'll just set the X to 0 as well. There we go. And now all we have to do is just move this guy along inside the box. Now here's how you do this. What you do is the first step in the process is to give yourself X and Y keyframes. And actually, you only need the X keyframe. So we'll take the top out of there. And then you turn off auto keyframes and you turn off auto transitions. And the reason you do that is that you don't want to have anything going on in the background, such as slowing down and easing and stuff like that. Now I've got a series of images here and I want to put them precisely on the stage, but I want them to be at precise time. So I'm going to come down here to the grid size and I'm going to choose 10 per second. So I'm going to have the frame rate of this thing basically show me 10 images per second. And also I'm going to click the show grid, and you can see that the grid now shows up on the timeline. And each one of these lines is a grid point or a point on the timeline. So I'm going to come over to the next point. I'm going to click to add a keyframe, and then I'm going to move the guy minus 170 pixels because that's his width. You notice he moves over and the next guy comes in. Blank keyframe, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Now this is the process. What you do is you come over to the next tick point, give yourself a keyframe, and change to minus 340. And we just keep doing that all the way along. Keyframe, minus 510. And we'll pick this up when I get to the end of it. And the final one, of course, is going to be minus 1870. And we've got our little guy in here. And if I come along, you can see that we've got the walk sequence happening here. Now, we've got a bit of a problem here in that you can see the sequence. So what you're going to do is you're just going to click on the stage and you're going to say the overflow is hidden. And you notice it all disappears. And then we just come along and you can see there he is. Now, obviously, we don't want him just doing one walk. We want him doing a bunch of them. So I'm going to add a marker at the start of the timeline right here. So just click. I'm just going to name it Start. And then we're going to come to the end of the timeline, and we're going to add a little bit of code here. It says play, and we're going to tell it to play the marker named Start. Done that, and that will loop it, so it'll just come back to the start. And then we can come back to the stage and you can see that our guy is walking. In the next exercise, what we're going to do is put this whole thing in motion, have him walk along the path, and recede off into the distance. I'll see you there.